Yeah, but he's coming off the bench.
Exactly.
I'm talking about your two starters, and they are your glue guys.
Let's look at, I get that. I understand that. But you look at a guy that comes off the bench, anywhere from 12 to 18 points on average for this team. That you got to.
Where do you have 12 to 18 points? I have not seen 18 points.
He's had a couple nights.
No. You said average. He is not averaging 12 to 18 points.
Yeah, he's averaging about 12 points per game when he plays. I mean, he had a little bit of a slump there. But I mean, but listen. Okay, so they brought this up.
Yeah.
With Goodwin, without Brooks.
Yeah.
And without Booker.
Yeah.
Okay, and then they threw in Grayson Allen.
Right.
Okay, those four were out, right?
Well, Allen played last night.
He did play last night. So take, let's say, 15 of those points away. They were sitting at 70 points on average with those four out. So let's back out 15 points. Grayson Allen did not have that good of a night. But you're still missing, Jimmy, at least 60-plus points with those three out of the lineup.
My point is this team is heartless now without the two guys that I referenced, and that is Booker and
Absolutely,
Brooks.
Captain Obvious.
They are heartless. And I'm not Captain Obvious because you always look, Manuch, you always tell me, next man up. It's football. Next man up.
Football's a little different.
No, it's not. Not in this case. They do not have a next man up.
Well, here's the thing, though, Jimmy. They hung in there. They've hung at least for a half. They've had the lead the other night. They were only, 6 points down in the night before.
Hey, we had the lead.
Competitive.
We had the lead at the half and then lost by
Jimmy,
25.
It's very obvious.
I know what it
So hold on
is.
a second. But when you miss guys, Grayson Allen doesn't come off the bench and score his 15 to 20.
I agree with that.
Okay, and then if you have Goodwin, who's been 10 to 12 on average, you miss that. You miss that off the bench because you look at this bench, talk about scoreless. I mean, they're not getting hardly anything off the bench when you look at this Phoenix Suns team from that standpoint. So you can't play all those guys the entire time. Yeah, you'd love to, but you need some of those points coming off the bench. And Jordan Knott said that. He said some of the keys for us is our bench and the guys that come out. He pointed out Goodwin, who is a huge part as far as on average scoring. That came from him, not from me.
I understand, but you elaborated up to 18, and there's no way.
Well, he's had a couple of games.
A couple of games, yes, but he doesn't average that.
Okay.
And that was my point.
Okay, so he's let's just say 12. He's had 18 to 22 at times. So he's a guy to come in, and he can also spot start for you, can he not? So there's another issue and situation there as well, too. But you can't come out in the third quarter. I don't care who's playing or who's not playing,
right? And
get outscored 30-11. You can't get out rebounded 61 to 34.
I was afraid you were going to bring that up.
And you can't get offensively out rebounded, basically 22 to 9. And it was, we're going to have Tim Kempton on here 1:30. I always hear Tim. I'm driving around training the quarterbacks and running here and there. I always hear Tim. I can hear his voice right now. Put a body on somebody. Put a body on somebody.
Yeah.
You watch K. Ray and Eddie. And Eddie's very low. You got to rebound. You got to rebound. You got to block out. You got to block out. I mean, it's not only you miss the scoring. We get it. We understand that.
Basic basketball.
Exactly. And I think that's the thing that we're seeing with this Phoenix Suns team is basic fundamental basketball is waning from this team. And since the All-Star break, I want to say as far as shooting percentage, one of the last in the league. Free throw percentage, one of the last in the league. Turnovers, I think they're in the bottom 5. So they're in a funk since this All-Star break. So they're going to have to figure out a way. And hopefully Booker can get back, I'm going to hope, early next week or by the weekend. And at that standpoint, Grayson Allen can contribute on a more consistent basis. Jalen Green, whose numbers – Jim, you loaded. Put those whole on to say. Put those numbers up there. That
I do.
I think for Suns fans, you're gonna be very surprised that Jalen Green is not getting it done the way we thought he would.
All right, since Booker has been out of the lineup, and a lot of people thought, well, that's just going to open up for more scoring from Jalen Green. Oh, basketball breath! You are so incorrect. Jalen Green, since Booker has gotten hurt, averaging 14 points per game. He is 17 of 60 from the field. That's 28%. 4 of 26 from behind the 3. That's 15%. Yeah, but Jimmy, don't you remember? He hit that buzzer beater. And that's one shot. That's one stinking shot. This guy, I can see right now And it's painfully obvious why Houston was not afraid to put Jalen Green in that trade.
Pump the brakes there, Jimmy. Just let me talk. Just sip it over.
No, because you're the fanboy.
Yeah, well,
I'm the guy that does not see the glass half full.
No,
I see it half empty right now.
The guy has been injured the entire year.
I'm with you. Yeah.
He's in his preseason mode, getting himself back up to speed. Now, that's no fault of the Suns.
His shooting is horrendous.
I get it, but he's trying to find the rhythm, the tempo. What does the Miami Sound Machine say? Just trying to find the rhythm and tempo. So
I love Miami Sound Machine.
I'm not going to diss on Jalen Green. He's a talent. We saw it in Houston many times. He just didn't get bad. He just been not be able to get. He's just now getting his land legs underneath him. He's probably not used to having to carry the team like he's had the last couple of games. And when Grayson Allen was hurt, and Gillespie is struggling. You really don't have a big man. Mark Williams isn't getting it done like we saw earlier, too.
Not offensively.
So when all of a sudden this guy's just trying to get back up to speed, I can see what you're saying, but I'm like, okay, let him fight through it. Let him come back to it. There's many guys that have gone through slumps. Unfortunately, his is with 23 games to go in the back because he has not played.
Yeah.
So I think everybody just needs to just pump the brakes on, is he a bust or not? No,
I never said he was
not.
a bust.
Okay.
Yet.
You're insinuating.
I am pointing out his statistical information.
Yeah, that's why they let him go. No, that's not what.
Because that's why I am the journalist on this show.
Over there. Okay, Jimmy B.
That brings us then to our State 48 Roofing. It's your call question of the day. And by the way, for a free roof inspection before leaks hit, all you have to do is just go to state48roofing.com. Keep your roof sexy with state48roofing.com, or you can call them at 480-268-4509. Here's the question. The Suns have now lost 7 of their last 10 games. Will they remain a sub-500 team the rest of the year? How many games?
23.
23 left. You have 2 options. No, just in a slump. B, yes, too many injuries. You can just go to Roc and Manuch on X, cast your vote. We will update you. How are you leaning on this one?
I'm going to be no. I'm going to say just in the slump right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still. I look at their record. They're still above 500.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, all they got to do is think about this. The last team that got into the play-in last year was at 35 or 36.
36.
They're already there.
Yeah.
Now, they're going to make the play-in, unless all hell falls apart. But they're going to make the play-in. So they're there right now, and the 4 teams below them, it's going to be hard for them to catch the Suns. So once Book gets back, it's going to take Goodwin probably another 2 or 3 weeks, and you won't see Dylan the Villain till mid-second, maybe second week of April.
Yeah.
So with that group, really Brooks is the only one that's going to be out to get them at least to the play-in, and by the time the play-in starts, Brooks will be back. He'll be healthy. Problem is, he's going to be out of basketball shape. So you'll kind of be back to where Jalen Green is now, getting back up to speed.
If you were wondering about the Arizona Diamondbacks, and aren't we all? And if they were going to get through the preseason, spring training, without any real major injuries, oh, sweet Jesus, it is not going to happen. Manuch, they have lost another pitcher, and he was going to be your starter on opening day, and that is Merrill Kelly.
Yeah, he has an intercostal nerve damage.
Oh, what?
Yeah, intercostal, not intercoastal.
Okay.
By the way, what a beautiful area there.
I've been on the intercoastal in Florida. It's beautiful.
It's a type of neuropathy that affects your intercostal nerve, intercostal nerve, which is a nerve located near your rib cage. Damage or compression of this nerve can cause pain when you breathe, laugh, or sneeze. Now, it's also right around your rib cage, can wrap around to your back. So that's probably what's been causing him the back spasms. The prognosis, and we'll get the soundbite from Troy Labello here in a little bit, looks as though he is going to be out 3 to 4 weeks. So he's going to miss the opening day.
Right.
Zach Gallo will probably be the opening day starter. By the way, he's got his first outing today.
Okay.
So I'm sure it'll be Zach Gallo that gets the opening day start. But my goodness gracious. I mean, just when you thought things were ending, you get a broken hamate bone from your right fielder from Corbin Carroll.
And the hamate bone is connected to the rib
Now you
bone.
have intercostal neuroglia, which is a type of neuropathy that is basically near your rib cage, and that compression of the nerve causes the pain and or the back spasms.
Man. Look, I used to deal with back spasms, but it wasn't because of that. But I can attest to when you get back spasms, man, they knock you down.
Just think about this: between the Cardinals,
Yeah.
the Suns,
Yep.
and the Diamondbacks, Yotes are long gone. They're up there in Utah. They're the Mammoth now. The
Mammoth.
The
Yep.
Mammoth. Is there that kind of injury bug that's in the air?
I have no idea. It is a black cloud.
It is just amazing. If you're a true sports fan for all free sports for this, this state of Arizona, this injury bug just goes to show you how much it can really affect in wins and losses. Now, fortunately for Merrill Kelly, it's now versus later.
Yeah.
So this is something they're going to have to monitor. And I think for Merrill Kelly, the other thing they have to monitor, remember all the cramps?
Remember that?
Games in and game out.
Yeah, you kept screaming pickle juice.
Well, as a matter of fact, he's got the Stackers jar of juice right there. I think I saw that in footage of the clubhouse. There's Stackers, no pickles, just juice. Okay, that he'll have before every start.
Hey, speaking of spring training and pickle juice, guess what? We have a VIP experience that if you are a baseball fan and you like hanging out at Big's American Bar and Grill in Peoria, this is your chance to have a great time at a preseason spring training game. It is our VIP spring training experience. Here's what you get. You get box seats at the game, lunch at Big's, ride share, ESPN 620 swag bag, and here's all you have to do to be in the running to win. Just text PEAKS to 59925. Now they have changed it to ESPN. Manuch, have you seen that?
I have not.
Okay, it's not Peaks or Bigs. It is now text ESPN to 59925. Again, that is ESPN to 59925. The winner will be announced on Friday, March 6th. The game is March 22nd. It is the Diamondbacks and the Padres. Look, the stadium's right across the street. You park, you go in, you get your lunch, have a great time. You walk less than 100 yards. Less than 100 yards, and you're in the game. It's going to be a wonderful time. Again, it is our big VIP spring training giveaway. Again, just text ESPN to 59925. Coming up next, replay, rewind. We're just getting underway. We roll all the way until 4 o'clock. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, ESPN 620, 98.7 FM, HD-2, and on the Arizona Sports app.
We get it. A meal shouldn't cost you nearly $20. And we agree. At Venezia's Pizzeria, lunch or dinner for under $10 is still a thing. And for an even sweeter deal, stop in and grab a Slice Rewards card. Get a stamp for every qualifying Slice special. 10 visits, 1 free qualifying special. Simple. And every Tuesday, we double your stamps. That's your free pizza twice as fast. Venezia's Pizzeria, a family tradition with great rewards.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, Rock, for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selection. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. Make the right choice, Wright Toyota, just off the 101 on Franklin Wright Boulevard, and always online at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out WrightToyota.com.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Join the team at All City Towing, Arizona's largest towing company and leader in roadside service. We're hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, and customer service pros ready to grow with us. You'll enjoy state-of-the-art equipment, consistent schedules, full health benefits, a strong 401k match, employer life insurance, and a monthly fuel allowance. Take your career to the next level. Apply today at allcitytowing.com. All City Towing, where your future is always moving forward.
Here's what's different about GCU. It's one of the country's biggest universities with over 360 programs shaped by industry leaders. GCU's campus ranks among the top in the nation. Most of all, GCU cares about affordability. The average federal and private loan debt for GCU undergrads is lower than the average from private nonprofit four-year universities. Find your purpose at GCU. Visit gcu.edu.
Babbo Italian Eatery invites you to its 5th annual Baseball for Babbo Day of Giving, dedicated to raising funds for the fight against pancreatic cancer. On February 25th, all 7 Valley Babbo Italian Eatery locations will donate 100% of their profits to this cause. This event honors Ken Pollock, the late founder of Babbo Italian Eatery, a devoted baseball fan who lost his battle with pancreatic cancer in late 2022. Visit any Babbo Italian Eatery location on February 25th and contribute to a life-changing cause. Find a location at babboitalian.com.
Now it's time for our replay rewind. The top sounds of the night and whatever Roc decides to add. Let's get to it at Replay Rewind with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN 620 and on FM at 98.7 HD2.
This one of your favorite songs, Manuch?
I like this song.
Yeah?
Good song. Yeah. Good little banjo in there.
There you go.
Harmony. A boot scoot right there.
Mama rock me. There you go. Let's do our replay rewind right now. Suns locker room following the debacle last night against a handicapped Celtics team as well. Jordan Ott, he is, of course, the head basketball coach of the Suns. He thought the first half, well, it was all right. And then, things happened.
I just think in general, like we just didn't come back out the third quarter. We talked about it pretty honest with our group even today before shoot around. Had a group of guys come in and we just know our margin is different against a really good team. And then you go into halftime and you're like, we're in this thing. Like, let's go get it. But you got to go get it. You got to go get wins in the NBA because that other team does too, especially a really good team. I thought they came out with more force there in the third quarter.
Manuch, I hear the frustration growing in his voice now.
You said handicap Boston. Brown was going out.
That's what I said. They were handicapped. He was their best player, far and away their best player.
You make sense.
Far and away
They
their
were like
best player.
handicaps from the Suns really should. No.
He averages over 25 a game. He's their best player.
Yeah, I get it, but
They were somewhat handicapped. That's what I said.
At the Celtics, they're deep. They've
No,
got all kinds of guys.
They are not that big of a team. There was a possibility. You and I yesterday said we did not expect them to win the game, meaning the Suns. But we anticipated that at least they would be in it with Jaylen Brown out.
So Boston Celtics, a handicapped team, help.
No, I said they were handicapped.
Are they Brown out in that game? That's one of the best teams in the NBA East. One guy, your leading guy. Okay, they're not handicapped.
If Booker's out, this team's in trouble.
So the Suns have got Booker out. Here's Booker out, Brooks out. You could go, Jalen Green on one time. Now that's a handicapped team, Jimmy.
Oh,
not
man.
one guy.
Their best player, far and away their best player.
It's like, the Celtics, they're all wheelchairs out there, and they're handicapped out there, and the Suns just still couldn't get it. Of course, the Suns are still facing one guy is out. Yeah, he's the best player.
He is.
Look at the rest of them. They rebound. They shoot lights out. White shoots lights out.
Well,
the Suns hang in there. Hold on, Jimmy. The Suns hang in there for a half. You knew sooner or later things were going to come to fruition. Now, here's the problem.
Oh, okay. Finally.
Yeah, finally. Here's the thing. How about fundamental basketball?
Yes, thank you.
How about, you went up by 30 against this handicapped Boston Celtic team? Are you kidding me? What the hell's wrong with the Suns? You're just killing me over there.
No, I'm not, dude. I'm being honest. That's what I'm doing.
The Suns are handicapped.
I'm telling you right now that this Boston Celtic team, they play tonight in Denver. It's back-to-back.
Handicap?
Yeah, they will be if Jaylen Brown doesn't play. They will be severely handicapped if he's not on the floor.
One guy out, they could still beat probably half or 3/4 the NBA without Jaylen Brown. The Suns can't beat anybody without Booker or Brooks.
Well, they're showing it.
Well, and I would say it to a point, but I mean, please, handicap, the Suns are still one of the best teams without Jaylen Brown.
Whoa,
All that being said, excuse me, did you guys see that handicap Boston team out there last night? Were they in wheelchairs or something like that?
I want to be on your side here, Manuch, but Jaylen Brown being out, that's a big player. He's averaging almost 30 a game.
Yes.
But yes, it is nothing compared to the woes with the Suns are facing right now.
Well, they were handicapped. They lost. You just heard him say the average is nearly 30 a game. Okay, that's handicapped.
But they've got like 10 other guys.
Well, wait a minute, Manuch. I can't help what the rest of their team is. I just made the statement that they were handicapped because their best player was out.
I think the term issue, they were missing one of their best players. I don't think they're handicapped. When you say handicapped, it's like these guys, man, they can't find their way. They're gonna have to come out and they're on crutches. They're on
You look at
wheelchairs.
handicap differently than I do. Here's more with the coach, Jordan Ott, is talking a little bit about what my esteemed colleague referenced when they came out after halftime.
Just the frustrating part is that's what we do. Came in and stole our mojo in our own building. We addressed it first media timeout. I think they had 7 at the first media timeout. They were killing us in the possession game. They killed us in the possession game the whole night. That's something that we normally do. That's something that we can control, even when shots don't go in. So it'll be definitely talked about.
Well, it's also fundamental basketball. Sooner or later, I don't care if you're handicapped or not. You have to play. Got to block out.
Yeah.
If you're having trouble shooting the ball, you got to
Go to the rack. Yep.
You just got to block out. But at that point, you see a 30-11 run. It's tough to, if you don't get there on defensive perimeter, cover your guys, switch like they're supposed to switch, then things are going to happen, whether you got your top guy or not. So I think that's where Jordan Knott's really frustrated is, hey, guys, look, we got to fight through this, but you got to do your part and still play sound, fundamental basketball. You get beat, obviously,
right, yeah.
when you're shorthanded. I think that's a better term that the Celtics were shorthanded, their player versus handicapped. So the Suns are handicapped / shorthanded. They're just a whole mess of ugly right now. So when you lose 7 out of 10 and 4 of the last 5, then you know you've got to get back to whatever situation works as far as fundamentals, take care of fundamentals, and then hopefully you can mix and win.
Here is Grayson Allen after the game when questioned about the contest and how does the offense get back on track with Book and Brooks both out?
Yeah, I mean, just stick with it. Like offensively, just keep finding ways to create for each other. We gotta get some dump offs to the bigs, get them some easy looks, especially in games like this when they're screening as well as they are. And get some dump offs and lobs, some easy rim attempts, and then hopefully open up the 3-point line and get some easier catch and shoots. Yeah, I mean, I think it starts with trying to create better looks for each other and get some easier shots.
Problem is, when your bigs only score 7 points total, thank you, between Maluach and Williams, that's big there. Your 3-point shooting, you're barely 33%. I mean, field goal percentage, you're not even 40%. You're 35, 37%. So they're just going through some major issues, major struggles, and I think that a lot of guys pick it up. You went through the numbers with Jalen Green.
I did.
And what he's not doing or has not stepped up. So this is one of those games that you really can't look past because you got the Lakers tomorrow night.
Yep.
And it's not going to be any easier with that team. I don't think they're going to be handicapped. I think everybody's on deck, even if they had missed one guy. I like LeBron James because he's probably 90% of what he used to be. That's the only handicap I can see with the Lakers.
If he's 90% of what he used to be, Manuch, he's better than 3/4 of the NBA, the players.
I would
at
concur
90%.
with that.
Yeah.
I would concur with that. But again, I think that the frustration that these guys just have learned, and we have talked about this from day one. If you don't have all hands on deck, I mean all hands on deck and healthy, you're not going to have a chance to beat the Boston Celtics, the Thunder, the best of the best. In order to do that, yeah, you can hang around for a while, but sooner or later, this team will take off, and what will happen? The cream will come to the top. Boston said, "All right, let's go in the third quarter," and then they just took command.
Let us get to the Merrill Kelly story here real quick. If you have not heard, Kelly has come out and he's got some sort of type of neuropathy
Intercostal neuropathy.
Neuropathy. Okay. I'm kind of glad I never had that. Here's Merrill right now.
We've done pretty much every test under the sun that we can think of, and everything's coming back. Everything's come back clear, which is a positive. Structurally wise, we looked at the spine, we looked at the rib, we looked at the muscles, we looked at the tendons, we looked at everything back there, and that's all coming back good, which is a positive, obviously. But there's still something going on back there, still feel something. So we're just trying to turn over every rock and kind of look at wherever we can to see, what we can figure out about it.
So that intercostal nerve is located near your rib cage. The damage or compression of this nerve can cause pain when you breathe, laugh, and or sneeze, or it sounds like also some cramping that back there. Spasm.
Okay. Yeah. It's tough. I mean, here we are, and once again, a pitcher on the D-backs is down for the count. He was scheduled to start opening day. Obviously, that is not going to take place. Hey, today's replay rewind presented by Lerner and Roc. Interact, need a check. Just make one call, 602-977-1900. Always at lernerandrow.com. Remember, you get a free consultation. Lerner and Row, one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. 23 games left in the NBA season for the Phoenix Suns. What are we going to see? Well, Suns radio analyst Tim Kempton is going to be our guest, and he is next. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Right now, let us get you to an ESPN Sports Radio Center update right now.
It's now time for your Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's ESPN Sports Center update. I'm Connor Collins. Arizona Diamondbacks pitcher Merrill Kelly will no longer start on opening day due to intercostal nerve irritation in his back. Manager Troy LeBeau announced him on Wednesday. Kelly says that all of the tests have come back clean, but he's still feeling discomfort in his back when he's throwing, and admitted the opening day start is likely off the table. This afternoon, the Diamondbacks are taking on the LA Dodgers at Salt River Field. That score is currently 0-0 at the bottom of the first, but we'll keep you updated as Zach Gallen throw one inning pitch already with 2 strikes. And just a reminder, our Biggs VIP spring training experience sponsored by Biggs American Bar and Grill Peoria. They have wall-to-wall TVs, cold drinks, and the best game day atmosphere in the West. Check ESPN to 59925 for your chance at a VIP spring training experience. That's ESPN to 59925. Tim Kempton joins the guys next.
Now open in North Scottsdale, it's the Orangedale Lounge. ODs, right off Thompson Peak and Bell, next to Bash's. Your new favorite dive bar has arrived. Cold drafts, chill vibes, always affordable prices, and the OD Mug Club, the one-of-a-kind membership you won't find anywhere else. No frills, just great people, ice-cold drinks, and a bar that feels like it's always been there. Follow at OD Scottsdale and get the scoop at OrangeDaleLounge.com. Orangedale Lounge. Dive in and drink up.
Hey, it's Kevin Rowe from Lerner and Rowe, trusted across Arizona for helping injured people after serious car wrecks. And I'm Sean Forrester, managing attorney at Lerner and Rowe Law Group. We may sound alike, but Lerner and Rowe Law Group is a completely separate firm focused solely on criminal defense. We handle serious felonies, DUIs, and misdemeanors with decades of courtroom experience. If you're facing criminal charges, don't wait. Call Lerner and Rowe Law Group now at 602-977-1900.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Swing into Vans Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf to get custom fit for the new Ping G440K driver. It's the new standard and straight with dual carbon fly wrap and a faster base. It's Ping's highest MOI, most forgiving driver ever. Check out Ping's new G440K drivers. Book your custom fitting in store or online. Vans Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf, trusted by golfers since 1963 and home to the legendary 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee. Get there.
This is Jason Checkerly, former Phoenix police officer. There's nothing more important to a first responder than focusing on their mental health. And there's nothing better for that mental health than golf, friends, music, drinks, food, fun. Join us for the Heroes Golf Classic tournament at the Weston Kierland Golf Course on Friday, May 8th. If you're not a golfer, show up for the after party and benefit concert with the best cover band in Arizona, Rock Lobster. Proceeds are going to benefit the 100 Club of Arizona. The 100 Club provides support for our first responders through critical incident, injury prevention, mental health, and scholarship. Every day, our public safety members put their lives on the line, and we are their backup. So come out and join us on May 8th. To register, go to our website, 100club.org, and click on the events page. Again, 100club.org, click on the events page, register for the tournament, and we will see you on May 8th.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the ultimate lunch lineup boasts wall-to-wall sports and scenic views. When you're hungry and in a hurry, the Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Tim Kempton is joining the guys. Great food, cold drinks, and game day vibes at Backyard, your spot for sports.
All right, everybody, welcome back in. We roll until 4 o'clock. I'm going to do my best Tim Kempton impersonation right now. In 3, 2, 1. Will somebody put a body on somebody?
That seemed to be the theme in the second half there. Tim,
That's what I heard you yelling the entire time. Yep.
Yeah, quite a frustrating night. You know, they're not an extremely big team, the Celtics. They just were more physical, more energetic. I think it was 21 or 22 offensive rebounds. And, you know, just it set the tone for the game because it started early in that first quarter. They had 11 rebounds, I think, in the first quarter. 8 of them were on the offensive glass. And just too many second chance opportunities, too many times for them to control the pace of the game just by getting on the offensive glass.
I think they had at least 58 rebounds by the end of the third quarter. That being Boston, is that correct?
Yeah, it was a big number. I forget what the final number, the disparity was, but it was over 30 rebounds, yeah.
So this team, it seems, I mean, the Suns have enough gas to last for a while. I don't know if they run out of gas. You talked about how Celtics came out in that third quarter more physical, more bound and determined, and basically take a good look at that. Was that pretty much it? The Suns just didn't have the wherewithal as far as rebounding, shooting, that they came out pretty much forced the issue, that being Boston?
Yeah, one of the things I said is that one of the bright spots of this team this year has been their competitiveness, their ability to stay in games because they just work hard, they stay together, they do the little things. And last night was an example of a team doing it more often, more physical, more as a group. And that goes straight to, missing George Goodwin and Dylan Brooks. Those are the two guys that lead in those categories, and that style of play, hustling, the physicality, bodying up to guys on the defensive end. And last night we just saw another level of it. We complimented the Suns on their ability to do it, but last night we saw another level of it from the Celtics for longer periods of time, for intense periods of time, no matter who was on the court for them.
So when you watch this team, they've lost 7 out of the last 10, 4 out of the last 5. What's, aside from not having Brooks and Booker and Goodwin in the lineup, what's the main culprit with those that are playing, Tim?
Yeah, when the Suns make the run, when they were up 11, and then when they trimmed the lead back to 11 after they got down that big number, it's when they move the ball, when they don't try to do too much on an individual basis, when they rely on the team concept and screening and moving and sharing the ball, that's when this team is the best. Even when Devin Booker and Dylan Brooks and George Goodwin and all those guys are back, you hear me say it all the time on the broadcast, when the team concept is really the focus, this team really excels. It's Devin Booker driving into the lane, kicking out to a shooter, making that extra pass. That's the movement that you want to see. You want to see 2, 3, 4 passes, into it. Dribbling the ball in today's NBA doesn't really get you much if you're trying to dribble to score. If you're trying to dribble to draw the defenders to make a pass, to make 2 more passes after that, yes. the Suns are just when they're not playing well, everybody goes, well, let me do it. I'll make a play here. And then the next guy goes, no, I'll make a play, and it just doesn't work out.
Tim Kempton's our guest on the Right Toyota guest line. Take me to Jalen Green. Look, I know that he hasn't played a lot due to the injuries, so he get a game here and maybe a game there, and now he is back. Is it a case where he just has not played enough, which is why his shooting percentage is so dreadful?
Yeah, I think right now that's a little bit. Jalen understands without these other guys. It's like guys are looking towards me, and he's trying to establish himself. Listen, he's competitive. He wants everything to work out for the Suns in that trade. So he's trying to. I think he's trying to do a little bit too much.
Okay.
And just settle down and be Jalen Green. You don't have to score every possession down the court. You can be Jalen Green and set up teammates a little more with your talent. So, yeah, and to that factor, everybody on the floor getting used to him playing and what he does well is part of it. And yeah, right now he's just struggling shooting the ball. And I don't think that's, there's anything like, drastic. It's just a matter of rhythm, repetition. The other four guys on the floor with him at the time, create space for him so his shot's easier. I think it'll definitely come around before the end of the season for sure.
Tim, I have another question then about a player, and that's Grayson Allen, who's struggling with ankle and knee issues. Watching him last night, it was painfully obvious, at least to me, that he is not healthy. He's out there trying to give it his best shot, but he's not the same guy that we have seen. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I think so. Grayson's trying to play through it like he didn't play the other night. So he's trying to manage the pain and the swelling and all the things, the inflammation that goes into it when you have those soft tissue issues. He's hurt right now. He's banged up, but he still thinks, and the training staff, the coaching staff think, hey, Grayson Allen on the court at 70-75% can still help us. And that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to manage it to get to the best Grayson Allen possibility, being that the Suns are shorthanded. After tonight, we got a nice little break. Hopefully that'll help him a bunch as well as those other guys. So, yeah, right now he's battling some stuff, and he's trying to play through it.
Yeah, I just want to back up a little bit on Jalen Green. He's, and I mentioned this, we talked a little bit earlier. Jimmy seems to think that Jalen Green was kind of thrown in the deal with Dylan the villain, that all of a sudden he's not had that prowess on the court. I said, wait a second. I said, timeout. I said, he's battling for injuries. He's trying to get up to speed. He just didn't become bad all of a sudden. So I looked at Jimmy and said, are you nuts? I just want to get that clarified from one Tim Kempton that he's in a struggle, that he wasn't thrown in there with a bag of balls and Dylan the villain.
No, not at all. Jalen Green is not.
Did you hear that, Jimmy?
Not a throw-in player to balance things out. If you went through, I'm sure there were certain players that they had on their list, but Jalen Green was definitely one of the pieces that they had identified to get back in the Kevin Durant trade. His age, his position, his athleticism, everything about him. He's an elite NBA player. Now we just got to get him comfortable here in Phoenix. That's it. He's missed a ton of time.
Yep.
He's had some injuries. He struggled. But you go back to the last two seasons, he played 82 games both those years. So there is a little bit of a struggle right now for him.
Sure.
No, Jalen Green is not a throw-in player.
I never said he was a throw.
He insinuated that. That's why they got rid of him.
And said it are two different things.
Did you hear Tim Kempton?
I heard what he said. I also heard him said he is struggling with his shot.
Yeah,
I heard him say that.
Okay,
too.
we're going to move on. He just didn't become
you brought it back up, not me.
I'm glad we settled that, Tim. Jimmy goes down road.
Hey, hold the coffee cups in the pen. No, don't get physical over there.
So moving forward, you got the Lakers tomorrow night. Hopefully Book gets back back within the next 3, 4, 5 days. And it's pretty much Green and Book, Grayson Allen, maybe once in a while. All that being said, where's the bigs in all this? Only 7 points with the two big fellas down low. Will that be more a concerted effort these next few games to get them more involved?
Yeah, I think so. You know, one of the things I even said last night is, you know, Mark Williams does a great job running the floor, and I thought there were a couple of times where his teammates missed him. You know, Mark running the floor, running to the front of the rim. You had a smaller player on him. Throw it down there. Just throw it down there. See what happens. So, you know, it seems to come in ebbs and flows with Mark. He's very consistent. He runs the floor every time. He does a great job there. It is on his teammates to say, hey, listen, he's got a small guy on him. Let's get it inside. Yeah, and I mean, you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to go away from what makes you successful as a team. But if there are opportunities there, you want to take advantage of them. And I thought they missed a couple for sure early on with Mark. So he does a great job running rim to rim.
Look, I agree with what you just said about that, but for some reason, Tim, and you were partially right, I'd like to have you elaborate. Why don't they see him enough? It seems to me. I mean, he does get mismatches constantly, and they just seem to miss him.
Yeah, I think there's a little trepidation. You know, do we throw it in? You know, is it a good time? You know, he's tangled up. You know, he's got 2 and 3 guys on him. It's just a matter of, you know, hey, maybe even taking one extra pass, take it from the top to the wing so there's a better angle to get it in there. And those all are the things that you address in film. I'm sure the coaches definitely saw it last night, so I'm sure that's something that they address. Sometimes it's the angle that you have on your passing lane. So one guy may not have it, but if he makes the next pass to the wing, they have a better entry point.
So you got the Lakers tomorrow night as we wrap it up here, Tim. Then you don't play again until Tuesday at Sacramento and back here on Thursday. These next several days off to try to get it right. What will be the focus for this team after this Lakers game tomorrow night?
Yeah, just clean up the little things, but more importantly, get those guys in the training room for treatment and take care of those injuries and get as many healthy bodies on the floor as possible.
It's always good, pal, when you come on the show. Thank you for clarifying. I needed your help. Appreciate you.
And was he partially right? Was he partially right? He's the pro, Jimmy. I think he'd be all the way right.
I was partially right. Thank you, Timmy.
Talk to you guys.
See ya. There it goes. That's Tim Kempton, everybody. He's presented by Backyard Desert Ridge Manuch. We were there yesterday. Had a great time. It's a wonderful place to go and watch games. Suns watch parties. Also, they have ice cold drinks, wall to wall, game energy. Look, the Suns are up on those LED walls that they have, and then all of the other 50-inch HD TVs as well. So last night, watching the Suns, watching U of A, watching ASU, they had all 3 of the hoop games up for your viewing pleasure. Where do you want to go? Backyard Desert Ridge. Sun Spirit shines every night. Come and watch the game. Stay for the backyard vibes. Quick timeout when we come back. On this day, and a little football at 50. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. ESPN 620, 98.7 FM HD2, and on the Arizona Sports Center.
Game on Peoria. When it's time to eat big, drink cold, and watch every play, make it Big's American Bar and Grill in the P83 district. Big's is serving up huge portions of your favorites. Burgers, wings, nachos, plus a full bar and TVs everywhere you look. And don't miss happy hour Monday through Thursday, 3 to 6:30 p.m. with $2 off well drinks and $2 off domestic drafts, plus daily specials all week long. Bring your friends, grab a seat on the patio, and settle in for the game. Big's American Bar and Grill, where Peoria comes to play, eat, and watch.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Being in an auto accident is traumatic. You need to call the best law firm that has the experience to get you the best results. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Bigger fields, bigger events, bigger experiences. Arizona Athletic Grounds. Arizona Athletic Grounds is a 275-acre sports and entertainment destination for athletes, fans, and families. Located in Mesa, AAG is one of the largest multi-sport complexes in the country, with over 475,000 square feet indoors and more than 150 fields and courts. From tournaments to training to cheer, dance, concerts, and corporate events, the grounds does it all. Learn more at azgrounds.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Hey, it's time to find that F-Series truck you want at a price you can't afford to miss because it is Ford Truck Month. Yep, and Ford Truck Month is about the only way that America's best-selling line of trucks for 49 years running gets better. Ford Truck Month at our Desert Ford dealers. Hey, Paul Calvese here. Man, we wait all year for these amazing offers. The Ford F-150. America counts on it. We get to drive it. And that's not all we get. Check out these savings. How about 0% APR for 60 months with 0 down, 0 payments for up to 90 days, plus $1,000 in truck month cash on a 2025 Ford F-150. We're talking on the job site, on the family camper, off-roading. F-150 trucks are icons of muscle and performance. And again, during Ford Truck Month, it's 0% APR for 60 months with 0 down, 0 payments for up to 90 days, plus $1,000 in truck month cash on a 2025 Ford F-150. But it all ends March 31st. Just click buyfordnow.com.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B want to take you back. A quick reflection on some of the more memorable moments in sports and pop culture. Now, time for your Right Toyota on this day report. Right Toyota, right on the corner, right on the price. Right Toyota in Scottsdale.
All right, everybody, welcome back in. We roll all the way till 4 o'clock. Manuch, I can't wait for on this day because what you're going to talk about brings back a memory that lives forever in my mind.
Yeah, this is one that put Muhammad Ali slash Cassius Clay on the map back in 1964 on this day. Cassius Clay, then known as Cassius Clay, now Muhammad Ali, became the heavyweight boxing champion in an upset victory over Sonny Liston. Now, to put it in perspective, you probably remember this more than I do. Liston was like unbeatable at the time. He was. A lot of folks said he's unbeatable. Who's this up-and-comer? Yes, Cassius Clay or Muhammad Ali had won a gold in the Olympics in boxing. Yep. And who's this young, skinny guy that come up against Sonny Liston? So that kind of put him on the map as far as taking on Sonny Liston. Then he fought him again and knocked him out like in the first round.
That's correct.
Would they call that the phantom punch?
It was the anchor punch. That's what Ali claimed it was. But it looked like a phantom punch, but I've looked at it many times.
He did connect.
He did connect with an overhand right, and it did catch him right in the temple.
Then we go back to 1981. The Boston Bruins and the Minnesota North Stars set a record for most penalties in a game. You guys will love this. There were 84 penalties that totaled 392 minutes. That might have been the start of the 3-on-3 when you think about it. Now, I didn't go back and look at the footage from 1981, but when you read the article, it talks about 4-on-4. I don't think they ever got to a 3-on-3 situation. So basically, 84 penalties in total, 392 minutes.
That's amazing.
And then, Connor, this one for you. Sad day for those of us that follow the Cowboys. 1989, Jerry Jones, owner of the Dallas Cowboys, fired head coach Tom Landry after a 29-year career. I will say this, Connor. That was one of those sayings. So how do you fire a guy that's basically royalty in the National Football League?
Yeah, I mean, when you're talking about Jerry Jones, this is somebody who was going to do things off the own path because he was going to make a name for himself one way or the other.
That is correct.
And when you have a name like Tom, I mean, let's be real. That hat itself is just an icon in the entire Fort Dairy Dallas. I mean, you'll see statues of Landry out. So when Jerry Jones took over, I mean, you knew he had to find a way to get his name as the one.
Of all the people to not get fired, it was Tom Landry. I mean, I think the Earth stopped a rotation or two.
I do.
when Tom Landry, I know the football world was just stunned. Now, I did keep Bill Brandt for many, many years after that.
That was a smart move.
That was a smart move. He couldn't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
And he rebounded by getting Jimmy Johnson.
He did. He did. Yeah.
You go get Jimmy and you win a couple of years after that. It's easy to kind of be like, oh, maybe you knew what you were doing, old man.
So that's a little bit of on this day. Let's do a little football 50. Flip that nice NFL music.
Manuch, this story, we got it late yesterday, and it has just taken over the world right now at the Combine in beautiful Indianapolis, Indiana.
Yeah, we're going to dive more into this story, too, at 2 o'clock. Josh Weinfuss is going to join us. He's the beat writer for ESPN Arizona Cardinals, and to kind of sum it up, but we're going to hear this soundbite a little bit in about, 10 minutes, that Monty Ossenfort, the general manager for the Arizona Cardinals, had said his question was asked about Kyler Murray. And have you talked to Kyler Murray? And he said, we've always had good conversations. He goes, I've always had good conversations with Kyler Murray. So for the average Joe fan, you're thinking, okay, they've been talking to him after the season was over.
That was the presumption.
Yes, so we did that. I think we did that at Football 50 the first hour yesterday.
I think you're right.
So about to your point, 3:45.
Yeah.
Laz finds a story of the comments that Josh Weinfuss on his Twitter feed says her sources or his source that Kyler Murray has not talked to Monty Ossenfort or anybody, I would say, in the last 2.5 to 3 months. Now, I'm trying to put this together. Okay, so probably the last time they've had an in-depth conversation was the week that they put him on the IR of the Dallas game, correct?
Could be.
And they probably talked about, we're going to put you on the IR or whatever they talked about. But I think for a lot of people, if they have talked or they say they talked to Kyler Murray or they've always had good conversations, a lot of people think, well, you must be talking to after the season's over. Or maybe the exit interview that you have for everybody was before they hired somebody, number one. So there's a little bit of a he said, she said. We're going to catch up with Josh Weinfuss here at 2 o'clock and try to get to the bottom of the story, because if Monty Ossenfort misspoke, and the key phrase that I always said, we've always had some very good conversations. Is he talking about the past, or I had good conversations within the last 2 months? So I think that's my only, okay, let's everybody pump the brakes. But for a Suns fan or NFL fan, it's like, well, if you haven't had conversations since the end of the season, right, and you've got all this minutia surrounding your quarterback, why haven't you? But that source, either Josh Weinfuss, we'll find out, got to that source reached out to him and said, time out. We haven't heard from Monty Ossenfort. So we'll beat that up a little bit here, coming up here in hour
about 5 minutes from now.
Yeah, and then also, this always cracks me up. Okay. So Miami defensive end Ruben Bain Jr. said no team has mentioned Arbolate to him during his interviews, focusing on his play instead. Well, hallelujah.
Yeah.
These guys get so caught up in hand size. I'll never forget when Russell Wilson was coming out of
I remember
Wisconsin.
That. Yeah.
His hand size was a half-inch short of the norm. Well, he went on the National Football League and had a pretty damn good career.
Won his Super Bowl.
Playing. And it always cracks me. These guys go, well, your arms don't measure. They should measure for defensive end or a rush edge or whatever, at least 10 feet long. So the insinuation is, well, your arms should be longer. Time out. Have you seen what I've done on tape playing at Miami?
Yeah.
Did you see what I did against Indiana? Did you see how I manhandled that left tackle against Indiana? So it just cracks me up when I see these stories about hand measurables like your hand or arm length or all that kind of stuff. So those are some things that crack me up. Also, you 49er fans, it seems as though John Lynch and Trent Williams are looking to get things worked out, okay, as far as his contract is concerned. Trent Williams, I guess you would say his camp is saying that they're far apart. Lynch has set up at talks with Trent and his peeps, okay, and we're getting close to extending him, or at least getting him for a couple more years. You got to remember, he's 38 years old.
Right, yeah.
So if he's got 2 more years left, I believe, 49er fans, they'll get that worked out.
There it is. That's a little football at 50 presented by Twin Peaks, 5 Valley locations. Join us tomorrow. Manuch, where are we going to be?
We'll be at the Scottsdale Twin Peaks.
Can't wait. Always a fun time. It's all powered by Michelob Ultra Superior Light Beer. Happy hour 3 to 6 will be at the Twin Peaks Scottsdale tomorrow. Eats, drinks, and scenic views. When we come back, the aforementioned Josh Weinfuss is going to join us. We're going to dive into the National Football League. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, ESPN 620, 98.7 FM, HD-2, and on the Arizona Sports Center.
This month, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And you'll be on the same towers that big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
Getting zone, auto zone.
Welcome to A to Z Savings, our biggest sale of the year.
Happy to be here. Can I get some rotors?
Would you like brake pads with that?
How much are the brake pads?
Free with Duralast rotor.
Free. Really?
Really? Free.
I also need some oil.
Would you like an oil filter with that?
Yeah. How much is that?
Free with the oil.
Free. Really?
Really? Free. It's part of A to Z Savings with hundreds of deals.
From A to free.
Getting zone, auto zone.
Import restrictions apply.
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Only available with TurboTax experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
Phoenix, if you need a plumber, call the team that does it the right way. Victory Plumbing Arizona. It's particular plumbing for particular people, with upfront pricing before the work starts, so there's no surprises when the job's done. And here's a deal just for listeners. Tell them you heard Victory Plumbing on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, and they'll waive the service charge. For leaks, clogs, water heaters, or anything plumbing, book today at victoryplumbingarizona.com. ROC number 268603. Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
KTAR AM Phoenix, Arizona's home for the worldwide leader in sports. He's ESPN 620. Now back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Now on ESPN 620.
Yeah, I've always had a good dialogue with Kyler, and I'd say, it wasn't up to what Kyler wanted. It wasn't up to what any of us wanted as the season as a whole. And so, when you have the kind of year that we had, there's a lot of room for improvement. And so we got to find a way to do that, not only at that position, at all positions, but that's what we're all focused on, is getting better and moving forward.
That's the GM of the Cardinals, Monty Ossenfort, his interview where he talked at the Combine. Well, Josh Weinfuss, who is the ESPN sports writer who covers the Cardinals, he had a little different take on this. By the way, you can follow Josh on Twitter and X at Josh Weinfuss. Josh, welcome, pal. Always fun when we get you on the show. Thank you. We know you're a busy guy. Can you explain why one side is saying that we had conversation, and then your story says the other side says we have not had conversation?
Can I explain why that's happening?
Absolutely.
I'm not in their head, but here's kind of my view, right? I think it's Monty Osborne does not want there to be any kind of big headline, right? I think this is his way of saying everything's okay, right? And whether it was okay or not okay, I don't think he wants to put that splash out there that, hey, I haven't talked to Kyler this offseason. I think that would have caused a bigger ripple than what he was expecting. Well, then I had a source tell me that no, they actually had not talked to him offseason. So after he said that they had. So I think that he was just trying to kind of, maybe, I don't think it was coach speak. I think he was just trying to kind of, like, I don't think he expected anybody to figure it out that they had not talked. But I think this was just his way of kind of keeping the water calm. And I'm sure at some point, he was probably going to reach out to Kyler. Maybe he wasn't planning on it. I don't know. But what I do know is that he said he did talk to him, and a source told me they had not talked. So it seems like there's a little tension going on right now.
Let me ask you this: is it did the source contact you? Did you contact the source? How did that all work?
I'm not gonna get into it, but I heard from the source one way or the other, and they were very quick to tell me that was not the truth.
Okay. Then what does your ear tell you now about the combine, and how are they trying to shop Kyler Murray or not shop him?
It sounds like everyone I've talked to here is pretty convinced he's not going to be a Cardinal next year. Now that, I think there's up two ways that could happen. They trade him or they release him. I get the sense that teams aren't going to try to trade for him because they know they'll likely release him. So why is the team going to give up an asset if they know the Cardinals are most likely going to release him? And I think if it gets to the point where Arizona, for some reason, has, I don't say change of heart, if they just decide, we are going to keep him. We've already paid him $39 million guaranteed already for this coming season. Like, we want an ROI on him. Like, I think that but if a team wants him, I think that then they will start to offer him offer the Cardinals for Kyler Murray. But the one other thing that I've heard a lot of this week is that, the Cardinals will most likely have to pay some of his salary wherever he goes if they trade him, simply because it's such a huge burden on any team that's going to take him on. So whether the Cardinals want to do that or not, I don't know. But my guess is, if I had to guess right now, I would think he'll probably release someone.
I got to imagine when Mike LaFleur took this job, Josh, that this was probably discussed, I would say, front and center before he took this job about the quarterback situation. All that being said, with the limited amount of trade potential or free agents that are out there, or draft choices, this team is truly caught between the proverbial rock and a hard place, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, the question is what's behind door number two? So you know what Kyler is,
sure,
but then who's going to be are you going to go Jacoby Brissett for another season? That's obviously an option. He's under contract. Or if you want to bring someone else in and you're not going to get a guy in the draft, so it's going to be either free agency or trade, most likely free agency. So then what are your options there? The guys like Jim Garoppolo, potentially. Everyone's talking about Malik Willis. I keep hearing he'll end up in Miami, but that's kind of what they're facing. It's what's the other option, and is that option better than Kyler Murray? It's kind of the same discussion that Jonathan Gannon had back in 2023 when he took over, because he knew that, I have an injured Kyler Murray coming back at some point, but what do I want him to be my quarterback? And if I don't want him to be my quarterback, what's behind door number two? And I know that Jonathan Gannon, he wanted Kyler because he wasn't sure what was behind door number two, and that's kind of thing. Situation now.
Well, let me ask you this, Josh. When you hear he said, she said, and your source saying that they have not spoken, does that have you could fill out Kyler Murray? Does he even want to come back to the Cardinals? I know he's under contract, but when you haven't spoken to him and they're saying they have spoken to him, that's a little bit of a character integrity issue, I would think. If I was a starting quarterback and hadn't heard from him, is it a matter of that they'll come back no matter what, or maybe they'll resist it now?
I think that, from what I understand, they're not at that point yet, right? Like, I think that if it does not get traded, my sense is that he will come back and play because he's under contract and he's getting paid a ton of money. My sense is if he goes somewhere else, I don't think he'll be upset by that, is what I understand. So I don't think this is a situation where we're going to see him hold out just yet. Maybe he'll get to that point. But I think that as of right now, I think if they don't make a move, I think he will, come back and play in 26.
So around the combine, and people are on X saying that Malik Willis is going to command at least 30 to 35 mil. Look, the Cardinals are not going to offer that kind of money up. So can we just scratch his name off of this possibility?
I wouldn't scratch him off yet. They still need a quarterback, right? If they don't pick Kyler, I think they're still going to want a quarterback, and I just don't know if that's Jacoby, right? And if it's not Jacoby Brissett, then they're going to have to do something, and whether that's maybe go get a guy like a Kirk Cousins or Malik Willis, you're going to have to pay, whether it's 1 or 2 years, that's the going rate to be. So unless you want to just kind of get someone off the bargain rack, then you know what you're getting, right? You know what you're buying, and I think that's kind of a sign to everyone in that locker room where the season's going to go. And I think if they're committed to winning under Mike LaFleur, then they need to pay kind of market rate, which was 25, 30, 35 million per quarterback for 1 or 2, 3 years, whatever it is. And I think that's kind of how it's going to be.
How about that backup over there in L.A. that he's very familiar with, that he Mike LaFleur, a guy named Jimmy G? Trade potential? How about that deal? Looking at that.
If I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong, I think he's a free agent, right?
Yeah.
So, why not? Make it, have him be your bridge quarterback. If they don't want to go Jacoby, and, next year's draft class is chock full of quarterbacks, whether they're good or not. It's a different story, but they're chock full of quarterbacks. And you might just be able to get one at some point. I mean, they still might be able to get one this year, right? I keep hearing good things about Nussmeier out of LSU. You were thinking, I've heard, multiple people tell me that he is NFL ready as any other quarterback. Sure, he had a bad year. He was injured. But just, from a technique standpoint and a size standpoint and instinct standpoint, he has what it takes to play in this league. I think there are guys that they can get in the second, third, fourth round who might be able to play some snaps for you next year, maybe even start, depending on how it goes. So I don't think the quarterback this year is out of the question in the draft. If you want a first rounder, I think you have to look at next year.
All right, then let me just follow up with a couple of player questions, okay? Because the Mendoza kid is arguably the top QB this year. Are the Raiders, have you heard, because everybody talks when they're in Indy, have you heard, are the Raiders totally sold on him, or would they absolutely entertain a swap for a number 1 pick?
So it's interesting because I have not heard any chatter on this, zero. So that doesn't mean it's not happening, but that's not even something these people bring up casually in conversation. It seems to be a foregone conclusion that he will be a Raider. Obviously, I think everyone's minds can be changed at some point depending on what the offer is. But for now, there's a lot of chatter here, right? Everyone's talking about something that is not one thing to come up. So I find that very interesting. But it seems like he'll end up being a Raider.
So for the Arizona Cardinals, we let you go. And again, Josh, thank you so much for your time. I know you're busy. I know you got 5 or 6 dinners you have to go to tonight. So things you have to do. By the way, you got your barbecue spot picked out by there in Indianapolis?
So it's all about steaks here. So it's St. Elmo, a little shrimp cocktail. That's what it's all about.
Okay. Hey, real quick. So what is the mantra for the Cardinals at this time?
What they'll tell you is kind of coach the guy. Let's get better every day. All that stuff. Let's rebuild. Let's build for the future. But I think it's figuring out what they're going to do with their quarterback, right? I think this whole week has been about, or will be about, so has been about. They need to figure out what the market is for Kyler. If they can trade him, who's going to be that trade partner? And then after that, I think we're looking at, can they get an extension done with Michael Wilson? And can they get an extension done with Harris Johnson Jr.? I think, those are kind of the 3 biggest storylines out of this. But I think number 1, far and away, taking up most of their time is Kyler.
Yeah, I'm with you on that 100%. Hey, man, we know it was short notice and everything. Know you're busy. Thank you, man, as always. It's always good to have you on the show.
Anytime, my pleasure.
There you go. Josh Weinfuss, everybody. ESPN, he covers the Cardinals. And he's presented today by Biggs. That's it. Biggs American Bar and Grill in Peoria. Hey, look, here's what we have for you right now. We have the ultimate spring training experience. It is our VIP offer. Here's what you get. Box seats, lunch at Biggs, ride share, ESPN 620, swag bag. And here's all you have to do to get entered. Just text ESPN to 59925. Again, that's ESPN to 59925. Winner will be announced on Friday, March 6th. So if you haven't done it, do it now. ESPN to 59925. It's a great party at Biggs American Bar and Grill. It's less than a 100-yard walk from Biggs to the stadium. And it's a great stadium. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we cannot wait. Once again, just text ESPN to 59925. Coming up next, we'll do a little sports shuffle, one of Manuch's favorite segments on this show. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, ESPN 620, 98.7 FM, HD2, and on the Arizona Sports app.
Need to feed a crowd? Let Venencia's bring the flavor to your next event. We know you have a lot of options when feeding a large group. Ordering directly from Venencia's means you get the best service and the absolute best pricing. There's no per-person fee. Just tell us how many people you need to feed, and we'll come up with the perfect plan to ensure everyone's well-fed and happy. Grad party, office celebration, family reunion. Invite Venencia's to the table. Text catering to 411-24/7. That's catering to 411-247. Or Venencias.com.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm a church Kevin Rowe. Getting rear-ended once is not enough. Don't let the insurance company hit you again with a lowball offer. Call an experienced attorney who knows how to fight and win. Call Lerner Rowe today. 977-1900.
Rock for WhiteToyota.com. At Wright Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all their innovative web tools on WrightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at WrightToyota.com.
Nobody does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Nobody. Whatever you're craving, we got it. Tequila cocktails, premium bourbon pours, and top shelf spirits served over ice balls that hit just right. Local craft beers and handcrafted whiskey cocktails, yep, all here. And with 5 Valley locations. And don't forget the teeth-chattering 29-degree traps we're famous for. Pair it all with scratch kitchen bites that actually satisfy. From shareables to hearty favorites. When it comes to happy hour, Twin Peaks doesn't play. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, scenic views.
If you own a home and need cash, you can unlock thousands of dollars from your home equity quickly and easily. Call LendGo today at 888-420-4556. At LendGo, you can find out how much cash you could get with a home equity loan in just 2 minutes. It's free. There's no obligation, and it won't affect your credit score. Use the money for anything. Pay off high-interest debt, make home improvements, or just give your budget some breathing. Best of all, you keep your low mortgage rate while you're getting the cash you need. See how much you can get today. Call 888-420-4556. That's 888-420-4556. Or visit lendgo.com. That's LENDGO.com. Homeowners nationwide are doing it. Now it's your turn. Call 888-420-4556 today. LendGo, where homeowners go to get cash. 888-420-4556.
Let's get back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B now on ESPN 620.
All right, everybody, we roll all the way until 4 o'clock. Manuch is fired up about this.
Well, this is the sports shuffle, right?
Yes, it is.
Now, please indulge me, fellas.
Okay. Are you going to shuffle?
Let me shuffle the deck with the cards.
Okay.
Like that, you
I'm walking out of the room right now after that.
We just heard the Josh Weinfuss comments about the Kyler Murray situation.
Correct.
We hear Monty Ossoff, the general manager, say we've always had some good conversations with Kyler, insinuating that, you would think they would have talked to him about maybe exit interview or some of the things they've discussed in the offseason with Kyler. Something you would think.
Yeah.
So the thing that was interesting, I asked Josh, was, well, did they see that contact you, or did you hear that contact them? What I found interesting, guys, is that he didn't want to say one way or the other.
He was protecting his source.
Well, I get it, but it's. I guess if he says, "Well, they reached out to me to say something," makes them look petty. Or if he's reaching out to them, he's not trying to stir the pot. So what is it, Connor? When you hear something like that, I'm like, well, why not report? I mean, that's your job. If you went to the source,
I'm not giving away any sources.
Yeah, with Jimmy. I get that. No. You guys are understanding. You don't have to give up your source. It was who contacted who. Did they call? Did they touch base with you, or did you go the other way? Because when you hear that, if I'm Josh Weinfuss, I say, "Hey, Cardinal camp, have you had conversations with him at all?" And they said, "No, they haven't."
When you said that, my thought process was, if he made a contact to somebody, and if he said that I contacted him, which he did not, but it might have given away who his source was.
If you're a reporter,
so he is. No, you don't have to do that when you're reporting. All he has to say is, I got it from a very reliable source. He doesn't have to say, I contacted him or they contacted me.
I agree with Jimmy. I think, like you said, he probably heard that bite from Awesomport. He said, well, I'm going to go to some of my inside sources and kind of ask them if they know any more details about the conversations they've had, and he must have heard that. They actually haven't, and so I think he's just kind of keeping a secret with who the source is. But that would be my guess. Is he reached out to them to see, hey, is there any validity?
I'm not going to guess.
Statement?
I would. Yeah, but the whole thing is. And the other question was, well, with this supposed, it seems if you're in the Murray camp and they haven't talked to you, they're saying that they have, because the wording that Monty Osborne said, he said we've always had good conversations with Kylas.
What he said.
Now, you might have had him back in November. When was it that they put him on IR? It was the Dallas game that put him on IR. After that, you basically, you had, but versus, well, we're having good conversation. Now that tone might change a little bit, but I think for a lot of Cardinal fans or just fans in general, well, why haven't you had conversation? And if you have,
I get that.
This side of the camp is disparaging that you've talked to him.
I still
it's
don't.
a mess.
It is a mess, Manuch. I don't think it's important though, for the context of the story to really care who reached out to whom.
Well, I would agree with that. Sometimes I sit there and go, okay.
I know how you are.
Yeah, and I think
you're a guy who likes to sniff everything.
Well, you got it. As a quarterback, you got to turn every page, right? So I think the story though for a lot of folks out there is, hey, look, this isn't a good look for the Cardinals.
That is correct.
And if you're Kyler Murray, yes, you're under contract.
Now you're on to something.
You're under contract. And if they're going to put stuff out there that's not true, then I got to imagine if you're Kyler Murray, how do you feel in reference to moving forward with them?
Yeah, but you heard what Josh said. He said he was probably just trying to keep the waters calm and not create a storm at the combine.
Well, he's created a lot of question marks.
Well, he has for us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This is what we do for a living.
I love it because the comments coming back from Kyler Murray's camp is, wait a second.
Yeah, well.
We're sitting here, we're wondering what we're going to do. Now, if you're Kyler Murray's camp, you're just sitting tight. You don't really know where to go. You're in the contract.
That's right.
But I think by March 11th, you got to understand where you're going or where you're not going, because they don't want to pay that $22 million nut.
I thought that Josh made a good point. And the good point is, why would teams trade when they could wait for him to be released and not have to give up assets? I thought that was an excellent point. Also, it is my contention, and I've said this, and you've scoffed at me because you're a scoffer, that I believe Kyler Murray is going to be the starting quarterback for this team next season.
Yeah,
because they won't be able to unload.
I don't. You know what? If that March 11th comes, and they don't have any takers, they're going to be forced to unload. They will be forced to unload.
They will.
They're not going to pay the $22 million base. Was it close to 30, give or take a deal? They're not going to keep him after the way things went down this year. I'm not buying it. Connor, you and I talked about on the way in and we went over the show, is all of a sudden he was ready to go. I believe it was a Dallas game, and they had packages for him.
Yes.
They had a lot of things
I remember that story.
And all of a sudden, he goes on the IR.
Yeah.
What could have happened between now and then at that point where things weren't working out? I thought that was one of those things, and I've been questioning that from day one.
I know you have.
It's been, It's been something smells a little fishy with this whole type of thing.
Then it's fish.
Then you know what? If it smells like chicken, tastes like chicken, guess what?
It's a freaking chicken.
It's chicken.
I can understand there maybe haven't been many conversations because there's only so much you could say. We might trade you, we might not trade you, we may release you, we may not. But I do think the one conversation that they should have had, and I'm surprised that they didn't have it, was, hey, here's who we're going to hire as our new head coach. Sure. Here's his phone number. Here's how you can get in touch with him. I think that at least minimally is a conversation that should have been had. So that surprises me more that there wasn't at least one conversation to discuss that. Other than that, you could see how they maybe have gone a few weeks at a time without talking. But that's what surprised me.
Yeah, and I think that if you're insinuating that you've had conversation, you haven't. It's like, come on, guys, because sooner or later, somebody's going to step up and say, time out.
Oh, yeah.
It's not there. I don't know. I just,
that's fine, but
this whole thing is interesting. It's just the quarterback mind is like, okay.
No, you're a sniffer.
Let me see what's going on. It's okay. On 3rd and 3. Yeah. They typically do this. But what have you been doing the last 2 or 3 games? Hey, as we continue our little sports shuffle there, a little Merrill Kelly update.
Uh-oh.
He's got an intercostal neuropathy.
Not intercoastal.
No, not intercostal.
Okay.
That affects your intercostal nerve, which is a nerve located near your rib cage. So damage or compression of this nerve can cause pain when you breathe, laugh, and or sneeze. Now that can go around towards your back, maybe causing the back cramp. I should say back spasms.
Spasms, yeah.
So he will not, Diamondback fans, be your opening day starter. I can only surmise it'll probably be, I would think, Zach Gallen at this point. I don't think it'll be Brandon Fott. I think that'll happen. Ryan Nelson, soon to be said. But just when you thought that you had Corbin Carroll with the hamate bone, we've got an intercostal neuroglia. Or neuropathy.
Whatever the hell that is.
Goodness gracious. Do they need to get a priest and have an exorcism over there at the Diamondbacks?
I can tell you right now that the dark cloud just hangs over Salt River Fields. It just does.
It's been hanging over the Cardinals. It's been hanging over
Well, you're right.
Suns.
Okay, it hangs over the valley.
This one might be right up the alley of college hoops. Charles Vidiaco is the latest attempt to try to play college again. He's been in the G League. Yeah. And he's been trying to come back and play for the Crimson Tide. So basically, the Alabama Supreme Court, they had distributed interim injunctive relief initially. But Circuit Court Judge Daniel Pruitt has denied his request for that preliminary injunction. So the key is here that G League players like James, I think it's Najee, he was the 31st pick in the 2023 NBA draft, played G League.
Yes.
So he never signed an NBA contract.
Correct.
So Vidiaco has signed an NBA contract. So the judge said, hey, look, temporary restraining order is over. He's not going to grant him any more eligibility in college for now. So the key difference there is that Najee had signed a G League contract and that Vidiaco had signed an NBA contract. See, I think that therein is the difference. NBA contract, he signed a couple of them.
I'm going to push back. If you sign a professional contract to play in a professional league, isn't the G League a professional league?
Yeah.
Then you're done in college.
I would agree with that.
You're done.
See, and that's why the judge that looked at Najee and just gave him the interim and said, yeah, you're allowed to go back because of whatever reason.
Right, I understand that. But to me, there's no difference. It is a professional league, and the G League is indeed part of the NBA. NBA teams, they have G League teams, just like what we see here in the Valley. And so it doesn't matter to me. Look, now you can argue, well, they make lots of money in college. They get NIL and all this other ancillary income.
That's why he wants to come back, Jimmy.
That's why he wants to
make
come
big money.
He does, because he would make more money than playing in the G League, and that's his reason.
And last but not least, Justin Verlander and Framber Valdez, they're going to receive their final payments from their new contracts with the Tigers in 2039. Yes.
Is this Bobby Bonilla all over again?
So with the team deferring $31 million of the $128 million get committed to the pitchers. Wow. Belander's $13 million 1-year deal will pay the 43-year-old right-hander $2 million this year. The $11 million in deferred money due the 3-time Cy Young Award will be paid in a $1.1 million installments each June 30th from 2030 to 2039, according to the contract terms obtained by the Associated Press. Gotta love that.
Bobby Bonilla.
Bobby, if you retire next year, you're going to get 1.1 to 2039.
That's what Bobby Bonilla gets. He gets $1 million plus every year after that deal that he had with the Mets. Unbelievable. So, Manuch, I'm out the other night. You know me. I'm a happening kind of guy. And so I decided I'm going to go check this place out. Well, I did. Let me tell you, Rodizio Steakhouse, it was off the freaking hook. Unlimited steak. I'm talking cut after cut of top sirloin, tri-tips, the works. And I was full. In fact, I had to carry some out and use it the next couple of days. I'm still thinking about it, which is why I'm talking about it right now. You need to check it out. It is Rodizio Grill. It's a Brazilian steakhouse where they bring huge skewers of meat right to your table. That's right. You've got a place in Mesa, and you have another place in North Scottsdale. They are totally authentic, generous, and awesome. Here's all you need to do to get more information. Just go online, rodizio.com. That is rodizio.com. I loved it. You will love it. Check them out. It's rodizio.com. All right, when we come back, we're going to do some college hoops. And here we go. The Sun Devils get beat. UMA wins. GCU has a big game tonight. It's our campus quickies. It's coming up right after we do an ESPN 620 Sports Center update.
It's now time for your Roc It's ESPN 620 Sports Center update. I'm Connor Collins. Arizona Diamondbacks pitcher Merrill Kelly will no longer start on opening day due to intercostal nerve irritation in his back. Manager Troy Lovello announced this morning. Kelly says that all of the tests have come back clean, but he's still feeling discomfort in his back while he throws, and admitted that on opening day, the start is most likely off the table. And this afternoon, the Diamondbacks are currently taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers at Salt River Fields. Right now, that score is currently 3-2 with the Diamondbacks up, and it's currently the bottom of the fourth. This update is sponsored by Biggs in Peoria. And just a reminder, our Biggs VIP spring training experience is coming up just around the corner. They have wall-to-wall TVs, cold drinks, the best game day atmosphere, and you can enter by joining and text ESPN to 59925. That's ESPN to 59925.
Game on Peoria. When it's time to eat big, drink cold, and watch every play, make it Biggs American Bar and Grill in the P83 district. Biggs is serving up huge portions of your favorites. Burgers, wings, nachos, plus a full bar and TVs everywhere you look. And don't miss happy hour Monday through Thursday, 3 to 6:30 p.m. with $2 off well drinks and $2 off domestic drafts, plus daily specials all week long. Bring your friends, grab a seat on the patio, and settle in for the game. Biggs American Bar and Grill, where Peoria comes to play, eat, and watch.
There's nothing like it. The rush when the band plays, the roar when the Sun Devils take the court, the energy that shakes the building and pulls you to your feet. This is Sun Devil men's basketball, where every night brings the sound of something electric, something unpredictable, something you have to feel to believe. From the first tip to the final buzzer, Sun Devil Hoops is where passion lives. Be a part of it. Bring the noise, and let's light up Desert Financial Arena together. Get your seats now at sundeviltickets.com.
Swing into Vans Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf to get custom fit for the new Callaway Quantum drivers. The new Callaway Quantum drivers feature Tri-Force base, and the result is a faster face, more ball speed, and a quantum leap in distance off the tee. Check out the Callaway Quantum drivers today. Book your custom fitting in-store or online. Vans Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Trusted by golfers since 1963 and home to the legendary 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee. Get there.
Another Arizona storm season's rolling through. Before the next big downpour hits, call State 48 Roofing for your free roof inspection. Whether it's cracked tiles, flat roofs, or old shingles, don't wait for leaks to show up. State 48 Roofing is Arizona's #1 referred roofer. Trusted for over a decade in both residential and commercial roofing. Protect your home, protect your business with State 48 Roofing. Visit state48roofing.com or call 480-268-4509 today.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. Cancer screening tests can help keep the person you love around longer by detecting changes before cancer develops, or catch it early when it may be easier to treat. And many tests are available for free or are covered by insurance. It's time to sound like a broken record. Tell all your friends and family, I love you. Get screened. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
Campus Quickies, your weekly quick look at the Sun Devils, Wildcats, Lumberjacks, and Lopes info, exclusively on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN 620.
Hi, everybody. We roll all the way till 4 o'clock this afternoon in the heat in the desert, and it's great. Let us get right now to our campus quickies. We begin with ASU. Hod Rabino, Devil's Digest, is our guest. You can find him on X at Devil's Digest. Oh, welcome as always, pal. I think the thing that we should start with, and it's a common theme, unfortunately, for the Sun Devils, once again, struggling to find a way to finish. They play in the game. They try to play hard. And I've got a question about Jock for you, but just your overall thought on what you saw last night, again, not being able to close.
Yeah, it really is more of the same. Like I said, Jimmy B. I wish I could say that this was an anomaly what we saw last night, or even in the game in Baylor on Saturday, for that matter. But if you, maybe one time it was known as being a second half comeback team, but now it's just really total opposite. They can play well in the first half, maybe play well into the second half, and they'll still find a way to blow a game. These were very winnable games that they had at TCU last night and Baylor, last Saturday. If anything, it could have maybe helped Bobby Hurley avoid a third straight losing season in conference play, something that has not happened since his first 3 years in Tempe. It really is a shame, but like you said, it's just more of the same, and just sounding like a broken record every week. We're talking about this afternoon.
Okay, my other follow-up to that is Jock. The dude was on fire, and yet he got a limited number of touches. Is that coaching? Not when they have timeouts? Hey, you got to get the ball down to on the block, or explain it to me, Hod, why he gets so few touches.
And honestly, Jimmy B, again, this is a copy and paste complaint once again about how ASU plays in some of those games where they lose games that they are very capable of winning. I think part of it is coaching, but part of it is just the inability of the players to execute. But maybe really it's just more of coaching, because if this is a recurring theme from previous losses and you're still not able to correct it a week or two later, then it probably falls more on the coaching than it falls on the players. But sometimes it really takes two to tango. And if the players cannot execute that, that's definitely a detriment to them too. I mean, it's a shame that here we get a point guard like Mo Odom. I mean, definitely one of the best point guards in the Big 12, and he has 10 assists last night. But to your point, when it really was a crunch time and trying to get the ball to your big man, who really was having a good game last night, not being able to do that. That's really, really unfortunate. But again, not something that we haven't seen all season long.
With all the minutiae surrounding this team this entire season, you got Utah, KU, and Iowa State to finish up the season. What's the mantra? What do you expect? What do you look to see? And is it just put a wrap on this thing and move forward? How do you look at that?
Well, you got the Utah game at home on Saturday. In all likelihood, Bobby Hurley's last game as ASU coach in the financial arena. That is something on paper that should be a win. But again, I'm just very, very careful talking about this team winning games they're supposed to win. But needless to say, when you're hosting Kansas, and I'm sorry, Kansas is a home game too. So that is in all likelihood Bobby Hurley's last home game as a coach at DFA. That's going to be Tuesday, March 3rd. But when you have a home game against Kansas and a road game at Iowa State, those are games that, if you want to be honest about it, are definitely going to go on the loss column in terms of the probability. So hopefully ASU can win against Utah. So it's not going to be a really, really ugly skit to finish the regular season. But I'm not expecting much. Obviously, anything short of a Big 12 tournament championship is going to keep ASU out of the NCAA tournament. And again, we talk about probabilities. I really don't see that happening.
Oh, it's always good, pal, when you take time with us. You have a great day.
Thank you.
There you go, Hod Rabino, everybody. Devil's Digest. Let's go to Tucson. Steve Rivera is our guest show host, Fox Sports, 1450 AM in Tucson. You can follow him on X at Steve Rivera 95. Stevie, welcome, pal. As always, look, Baylor is not a great team or a very good team, but they are good enough to be trouble, and they were trouble last night in Waco on their home court against Arizona, but yet the Wildcats were able to find a way to win.
Yeah, every dog has its day, right? Even in a loss, they played very well. Baylor did. But Arizona played a little bit better to get in and get out. Was a 7-point game. At no point in watching the game did I think that Arizona was going to lose that game, given their second half performances. They had a few turnovers in the first and one in the second, and they shot better. Things looked better, but you can tell very much so that they're gassed. They needed to get home.
You know, we talked about Del Orso the last couple of games. He's been on fire. He's cooled off a little bit, only 8 points last night. But with Bradley and Burries and the comments about Burries, how much this young man is beyond his years as a true freshman. I mean, that kid, you talk about closing it out. He knows how to close, or your guys that stepped up, your two guards, figured out a way to close and finally take this game running away 87-8.
Yeah, we talked about that all year. You know, they have the 5, 6 guys, 7 guys. On any given day, one of these guys will step up. Maybe 2 of these guys will step up. Maybe 3. Last night it was the backcourt. Burries with Yvonne and Koa, they played beyond their years all season, and they're one of the big reasons, if not the biggest reason, why they're number 2 in the country.
Speaking of Koa, what's latest with him? And on top of that, Toby Awaka seemed to be settling in as a starter. Another nice game last night.
Yeah, no, I think Toby will be moved back to the 6th man. He's valuable in any spot, obviously, right? But if Koa comes back, and I think he will, my estimation is probably 50-50, if not better. But he'll be able to go against Kansas, and we'll see what happens. You know, it's obviously a big game.
Steve, this is a run right now into the Big 12 tournament. Can't wait to get to that tournament. It's going to be sensational. But you close with some really, really good teams. There's no question about that.
It's just the Little Sisters of the Poor. St. Mary's School of Shopping.
with Kansas and Iowa State. I can't wait to watch those games.
Yeah, many people down here, too. I'm not sure what the ticket situation is for Kansas. I'm sure it's sold out. But, you know, when you got a big game like this, they go for 100 just to see them play in the building. And Iowa State's probably going to be just the same on Monday. But yeah, no big deal, right? The gauntlet of the conference. But we talked about this 2-3 weeks ago when it was coming. You have the gauntlet of the regular season here in the final 3 weeks. Then you have the gauntlet of the tournament, and then you have the real gauntlet of the NCAA tournament. So.
And on top of that, we let you go with this. Another Monday night special on ESPN. You had KU a couple weeks ago, and you got Iowa State on Monday night. Talk about the recruiting tool or keeping you guys out in front and center.
Yeah, they've been talked about a lot, right? When you're, in the top 5, top 2 for a while, you're number 1 for a long time. You get mentioned a lot. The logo kept showing out. The A is out there. So yeah, you can't Doesn't hurt them with recruiting. Doesn't hurt them with a lot of ways. Hey, I have a complaint though with you guys.
Go ahead.
What's up? When I talk to management, Hod is covering a bad team. I'm covering a good team. How is he taking my time?
That's called fair and balanced broadcasting. It's something that we are not seeing much of, so we're going to be fair and balanced.
You know I joke. I love
We love you, Steve. You know that, pal. You have a great day. All right.
Take care.
There you go. Steve Rivera, everybody. Once again, you can follow him on X, Steve Rivera 95. GCU coming up. You got the game tonight, which is why we did a rush call to Paul Coro. He'll be working this evening. He is the editor, radio analyst. You can follow him on X at Paul Coro. Well, not much to do tonight. You got a UNLV team here that averages roughly 80 points per game. So how do you slow them down? And B, will that be enough to get a W?
Yeah, I got to give Steve is taking my time asking questions about Hod.
We thought we'd give him 5 more minutes and just get that nap, maybe 5 more minutes of that nap.
So I'm just yeah, I mean, we're getting serious, right? 4 games to go. This is a get-right game. This is about a couple things with GCU. You know, that Saturday loss to Wyoming at home, that's unacceptable in their eyes. To lose a conference game at home to a team that's, you know, more in the middle of the conference, that's not what they expect to do in home games. And it's a get back for the loss at UNLV, which was also a disappointing game for them. Now, that game actually got the Roc and Manuch going. They've won 4 or 5 and have had some good wins and are healthier than they were then. They've got a couple guys back that didn't play in that game. One of them, Howie Fleming, got a triple-double in the last game, and they get a big man back, Tyron Jones. But they have a guard named Drake Lawhorn, who's probably the hottest player in the league right now. He's averaging about 28 a game in the last 7 games. So there's a lot that gets their attention tonight. This is one of the most athletic teams in the league that can match up size-wise in a lot of ways with GCU. So this is a big one to get back right. And, you know, you got 2 weeks to roll into playing your best ball in conference. Didn't get any help last night with Nevada upsetting New Mexico at home. So now you got to win to stay even with them and hope to get some help for that 4th place spot.
Paul, you know, you look at the WAC last year, you looked at Mountain West. We've talked about this, the breakneck pace, day in and day out. Has this GCU Lopes team gotten used to that breakneck pace time again and time again and time again? Are they there?
Yeah, that's a really good question because a 20-game conference season just is different, and especially in a conference that's proven to be as deep as this. Like, there's some teams that people were ready to write off early, like UNLV. That's gotten hot. Colorado State was written off early. They won 6 in a row. So now all of a sudden you're looking at a conference tournament with quarterfinals that are going to be just needed. And so I think they have gotten. I mean, you'd like to say they've gotten used to that, but then they lost the home game Saturday to Wyoming. But I think that got their attention. The difference is just, you know, needing more depth. And, you know, ever since the injury to Caleb Shaw, that really took a shot through rotation and the bench. And they just need bench guys to be able to step up and give them some minutes so the starters aren't extended so hard. But, I mean, they've proven to be capable at times of doing that when they need to. And, you know, Nana Usha Anane, I don't know that anybody lays it out there more for, you know, 37, 38 minutes a game than him. Just tremendous rebounder, throwing his body on the floor, defending. He just does so many things for his team. He's kind of the heart of it.
So take me to this for tonight. If the game is 78 to 82, 83 points, is that a UNLV win? Or if it's 68 to 72 or 3, would that precipitate then a GCU win?
Probably a good sign if the scores in that range because UNLV tends to be high scoring. They tend to give up a lot of points too. You know, I think free throws would be probably a key thing to watch tonight because UNLV fouls at a rate that's like the 3rd highest in the nation. So the look should be, if they're being aggressive with paint touches and attacking, getting in transition, they should be piling up free throw points tonight, and that could be a big tipping point in the game.
Always good, pal, when you take time with us. Have a good time tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Hod and Steve, for giving me a little leftover time. Thank you, guys.
You're the best. That's Paul Goro, everybody. GCU, UNLV, tonight on campus at Grand Canyon. Campus Quickies presented today by All City Towing. And All City Towing is the state's largest towing company. They're hiring drivers, dispatchers, customer service pros. The pay is excellent, and the benefits are off the charts. It also includes a monthly fuel allowance. You heard me right, monthly fuel allowance. If you're not happy with what you're doing now, you want to check them out, just go online, allcitytowing.com. Again, that's allcitytowing.com, where your future is always moving forward. Quick timeout. When we come back, little football at 50, plus a random fact of the day. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, ESPN 620, 98.7 FM, HD2, and on the Arizona Sports app.
Looking for the perfect place to eat, drink, watch the game, and keep the night going? That's Backyard Desert Ridge. Enjoy elevated bar favorites and a killer drink menu. Catch every play on 40-plus HD TVs or 4 massive LED walls. Then challenge your friends to a game of your own. And when the game ends, the party keeps rolling with live entertainment and DJs nightly. Backyard Desert Ridge. Comfortably familiar, always exciting. We'll see you in the backyard. Phoenix, if you need a plumber, call the team that does it the right way. Victory Plumbing, Arizona. It's particular plumbing for particular people, with upfront pricing before the work starts, so there's no surprises when the job's done. And here's a deal just for listeners. Tell them you heard Victory Plumbing on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, and they'll waive the service charge. For leaks, clogs, water heaters, or anything plumbing, book today at victoryplummingarizona.com. ROC number 268603.
Join the team at All City Towing, Arizona's largest towing company and leader in roadside service. We're hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, and customer service pros ready to grow with us. You'll enjoy state-of-the-art equipment, consistent schedules, full health benefits, a strong 401k match, employer life insurance, and a monthly fuel allowance. Take your career to the next level. Apply today at allcitytowing.com. All City Towing, where your future is always moving forward.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the ultimate lunch lineup boasts wall-to-wall sports and scenic views. When you're hungry and in a hurry, the Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Hey, it's time to find that F-Series truck you want at a price you can't afford to miss, because it is Ford Truck Month. Yep, and Ford Truck Month is about the only way that America's best-selling line of trucks for 49 years running gets better. Ford Truck Month at our Desert Ford dealers. Hey, Paul Calvise here. Man, we wait all year for these amazing offers. The Ford F-150. America counts on it. We get to drive it. And that's not all we get. Check out these savings. How about 0% APR for 60 months with 0 down, 0 payments for up to 90 days, plus $1,000 in truck month cash on a 2025 Ford F-150. We're talking on the job site, hauling the family camper, off-roading. F-150 trucks are icons of muscle and performance. And again, during Ford Truck Month, get 0% APR for 60 months with 0 down, 0 payments for up to 90 days, plus $1,000 in truck month cash on a 2025 Ford F-150. Put it all in March 31st. Just click buyfordnow.com.
Let's get back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B now on ESPN 620.
All right, you can't get rid of us that easy. We're rolling all the way until 4 o'clock. Right now, with a little random fact of the day.
Well, Michael Phelps, his Olympic medal count is higher than that of nearly 100 nations.
What?
Yes. Michael Phelps has won a total of 28 Olympic medals, making him the most decorated Olympian of all time. Now, His historic haul includes 23 gold, 3 silver, and 2 bronze medals achieved across his career from 2000 to 2016.
That's amazing.
You imagine being a top-notch athlete, swimmer in every race imaginable, sprints, long medleys, you name it, just phenomenal. You see that he has won that many medals, but 23 gold, 3 silver, 2 bronze.
And his 28 total, you say, is more
than 100 nations combined.
Wow.
Yeah, more than 100 nations combined. So there's a little random fact
That's a
today.
good one. That's really a good one.
You could throw that out there to refreshment stand there.
I'll do that. I'm sure I'll win a 7-7 on that.
Let's get a little football at 50 there. CC, little NFL love. Well, Reuben Bain Jr. said no team has mentioned arm length during his interviews, focusing on his play instead. He's a stud. Played at Miami.
Yeah,
had a hell of a game. Had a hell of a playoff.
Yeah.
He says people keep bringing that up out of nowhere. He says if no teams brought it up to me, so I don't bring it up either. As long as I just talk the talk, walk the walk, play with technique, nobody actually cares about it. So this cracks me up, Jimmy.
Okay.
He's been the scrutiny or concerned about his arm length. And is he long enough with arm length from palm to palm to play in the National Football League as an edge rusher?
Oh,
It just drives me nuts. Here's a kid.
Yeah.
Reported 9.5 sacks this season.
He was great.
And 20.5 in his 3-year career. If the Cardinals don't get a right tackle, if they don't get a quarterback, which they won't, you see this kid, Michael Bain?
Mm-hmm.
Wait a second. Let's check his arm length. So, okay, Connor, CC, being more of Mr. Right tackle, left tackle. Does arm length for a edge rusher, defensive end matter to you one way or the other?
If I'm being honest with you, yes, it kind of does a little bit. But to be fair, I think guys can be made exceptions for, and this is one of those players you can make an exception for. Clearly, he's got the track record. Just because you're playing offensive line, one of the biggest things I've always said, especially with my own game, as a 6'8" guy, been gifted with reach. If I knew I could keep a guy's hands off of my chest plate, then I knew I probably could win the battle. As long as I could keep my feet moving and keep them out of my chest plate, I felt good. Now, the difference with Reuben Bain is he's got a load of a lower body.
Oh,
So
he
whether
does.
those arms are short or not, he's going to drive into you and try to force.
So, all right, Connor Collins. So, if you're at the combine, you're 6'8". Do you know what your arm length is from tip to tip?
You know, I'm not entirely sure. I measured it at one point back when I used to go through all the camps and everything like that.
I
But
know,
once
I know.
played for a university, I kind of stopped checking.
I know. It's long.
I would agree.
Yeah. Well, you're big. You think the guy's 6'8".
I've been called the Condor before. If that doesn't bother.
Yeah, there you go.
Man.
Yeah, we'll call you C. We'll call you Triple C. Connor Collins, the Condor. Triple C. You know, it's interesting because I laugh when I see all these measurables at the combine.
Welcome to the combine.
And it's interesting because this thing about hand size, arm length, now the vertical jump, the 40, shuttle run, all those kind of things are, okay, the measurables. But when they said that, you know what? Russell Wilson, heads up, everybody, his hand size is under 9 inches. And I'm like, 9 inches? I mean, so one day I measured my hand. You go from the palm to the tip was about 10 inches. I got a big hand.
Okay.
But I never even thought about that before.
Yeah.
Well, you know, if it's slick, if anybody drafts him like in Seattle or Buffalo or Cincinnati, where there's elements, we got to be careful. Are you kidding me? Did you not see what he did in North Carolina State and in Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Did you not
In
see what he
bad
did
weather?
In bad weather, on the football field, or you know what? His jab step is just way too slow. What? He didn't give up a sack. CC didn't give up a sack at Utah Tech his entire 25 years while playing football there.
He got paid, too.
But you know what? Here at the combine, it's about a half count slow. So this stuff drives me nuts. Look at the tape. What has he done? Okay, look at his measurables. Okay, you take it with a grain of salt. How did he handle all of the mental situations? Did he clear himself with all the medical situations? There's so many more, but I just laugh and scoff when I think of all of the lack thereof measurables. So, Jimmy B, as far as handling a basketball, you know, size 4-inch hands?
I could not palm it, which means I couldn't dunk the ball even though I could get
Just
up
like
to the
you
rim.
said, Manuch, Jimmy B may not have passed the physical part of the combine, but damn, he would have passed all the interviews.
Damn right I would have.
That's how you would have fooled him. Yeah, I mean, all you got to do is stick with the basketball,
I
right?
just want you to know I could dunk a tennis ball. I could not dunk a basketball because I couldn't hold it.
They had trampolines in those days, right?
No, they did not.
What?
It's
Yeah,
called
for-
springs. It's called springs for legs, big dog. That's what it's all about with me. Hey, before there was Spud Webb and Muggsy Bogues, there was me.
And I've got some oceanfront property in Yuma, Arizona I want to sell you.
Yeah, well, I'll buy it. Big's American Bar and Grill, Peoria. We've got a great contest for you. Right now, just text ESPN to 59925. That's 59925. Make sure you have ESPN on there. Box seats, lunch at Big's, ride share. It's going to be a great time. ESPN 59925.